Well, it's been a minute. And, yeah, here I am, gathering my thoughts. When I first started this podcast, it was a lot of fun. And then life got really, hard. Hard is, you shouldn't say hard. Everyone's got their own versions of the same thing going on, right? Well, mine overwhelmed me, and I kind of stopped doing the podcast. Kind of stopped. It definitely stopped. So here's what's been going on. I had a son, and he was diagnosed autistic. And so we wanted to do everything that we can to help get him going good and get him all the therapy and whatnot that he needed. Super expensive. I understand, I guess, but it's very expensive. So that's where all my focus has been for the past couple years. And it looks like we're going to be able to get him into a really great kind of therapy thanks to a GoFundMe that we made, which was super weird to make, I guess is the words I'm looking for. Weird, vulnerable, embarrassing, whatever you want to call it. But it's been amazing. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has contributed to that. You're changing my son's life, and I will serve you forever. Thank you. It's a weird feeling. It's strange, man, when a bunch of people just give you their money. And I don't know how to say thank you enough. It's super weird, but thank you all very much. It means the world to me and my wife, and my son will be forever changed because of your help. So thank you. It's very sweet of you. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I am going to try to be doing the Gathering My Thoughts podcast more often because I need a new creative outlet, and this one was really fun when I was doing it. And so I'm going to try to interview some friends, talk to people who I think are neat, interesting, things that I'm curious about, whatever, the same thing that everyone does for their freaking podcast. But yeah, I like doing this. It's fun capturing moments and then shooting them to the universe, / satellites, or I guess servers somewhere, right? That's one thing, like all of us uploading ourselves to the internet in the future, if all the power goes down, we're kind of in trouble, right? I'm not the guy to be talking about this, but I am the type of guy to be thinking about this. Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable that we're going to basically just live in some sort of VR internet world. And I think it'll be cool to some extent. I want to go to all the Lord of the Rings places, you know, and hang out with my friends. So if that opportunity arises, I'm doing it. It depends on like the Neuralink thing, putting a chip inside of me, especially into my brain. I'm going to let several waves of that go before, and I probably won't even be able to afford it right away, right? So it's like CRISPR. We'll start watching the rich people get to design their babies, and then that'll be a whole interesting topic in itself, and what's ethical and what kind of babies to make are ethical. They'll start growing them outside of the wombs in those little, what do they call those? I don't know. I saw a thing where they were like growing a baby in a bag, but outside of the womb. I don't know how real it was, though. It was pretty cool. I think it'll happen. I think you'll just be able to make babies in your little easy bake oven, and you'll be able to design them to be 6'4" and have whatever eyes you want and all that stuff, and we'll keep evolving. Hopefully all that will keep us from just completely leaving this reality and going to the online, because both will be... I wonder what those kids will want to do. What will designer babies want to do? Go on to the VR world, or be like, I'm already made to be like a perfect specimen. I'm going to go. Hopefully it'll balance us out. I got to be honest. I'm mainly just making myself start doing this, and I had to address the GoFundMe because I've had friends and family reach out and donate, and it's just unbelievable. It's people I haven't talked to in forever. People that I had great times in my life with, just showing up. It's just unbelievable. You guys are makes you not feel alone, man. It makes you feel, I told Haley it's like a movie. But instead of being the observer of it, like I'm in it. And everyone is so sweet. I just got a text. So, anyways, my head's kind of all over the place lately. I've been very, the crying, I think I'm through the crying, but that was really crazy because I would just try not to think about it. I wouldn't want to look at the GoFundMe. It was kind of like just put it out there, then let it be what it is. And then every once in a while, the emotions just hit you and you start weeping. And it's like good and bad weeping. It's weird. It's the whole thing, you just want to do the best for your kid, and you're presented with certain circumstances and you're like, okay, this is what reality is. So what do I do to move forward? And then you just start exhausting all your efforts and you hit a wall where you go, okay, we know what to do, but we'd have to be able to have this much money. And then everyone in your life just goes, hey, here you go. What do I do now? How do I just, I'm going to take it because I want to do whatever I can for my son. But I just feel I want to do whatever it takes to be the best version of me for everyone in response. So when we have interactions, I hope they're wonderful. I hope I don't cause any of you guys any stress in your life. So I still write music for words. I haven't put anything out in a long time. The last single I released was Hopscotch, I believe, and that's actually about my son. And I wrote that like his first year of being alive, thinking about what the future is going to be like, and here we are. And Hopscotch, that's the newest words release. I released Automation. Those are also part of the Clouds EP that is to come. I'll get it to you guys one day. I got a lot of other stuff I got to do. And so, yeah, that's priorities, But thankfully, the Honey Gold gang's been really hustling. And so hopefully we'll start having more podcasts, more live concert series, and just neat stuff for people to be entertained by, because I kind of just making stuff because we want to make things, want to be creative, and there's a real enjoyment when people enjoy consuming the thing that you created. And if they don't, it's still nice. It's like making yourself a meal, Not everyone has to eat it, but if you enjoyed it, I don't know how well that metaphor works. Kind of always thought in metaphors, and I don't know why, but even as a kid, I had to someone explain something to me, then I had to give my version of it back, and then have them say yeah. Well, let's see, what time is it? I'll knock out a few more minutes for you guys. I wish I knew what you wanted to know, but I don't have to be talking directly to you, I guess. Man, I was so good at this back in the day. I just talk. I loved hearing myself talk through ideas. It was easier. I could really get through them clearer. Probably could too right now. It's totally different. I was carefree back in the day. And then I guess I did capture a few podcasts where my son was first sick and stuff, and I was losing my mind. I've never gone back to listen to those, but I'm glad they are there. I think they're good. I think the whole early series of my podcast, if there's anything interesting about it at all, is watching the mental state of a musician father, or of a musician me, learning he's going to have a kid, having the kid, going through trials. I'm glad I captured that. Maybe my son can listen to it one day and be like, okay, so these are the type of things that you can experience, and let's learn from how his behavior was and maybe do it differently. Probably do it differently. I'm not as angry anymore. I don't feel like I was too angry on the podcast. I feel like my life a little bit before I even started it, that was probably the most angry. But I've had this real realization that when I'm upset about life, I'm basically going, reality isn't doing what I want it to right now. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy who goes, this is what reality is. So what are we going to do about it? But that doesn't mean I may or may not hit a hole in a door in our house the other day. Cheap door. I did not even think I hit it that hard. But it wasn't like a full hole. It was like one of those where just like just breaks in a smidge and it stays. The fist imprint kind of stays, but it's just bent back around it. Was scared to tell my wife. I didn't tell her right away. And then once you do that, it's scary to then tell later. And then several weeks later, I was sitting on the couch one night, and all of a sudden I hear from the hall, "Did you punch a hole in the door?" And I was like, "Well, here we go. It's time to address this one." And I said, "Yes. Yes, I did." Anyways, I'll be better. All right, so exciting stuff going on. The YOUNGBLOOD podcast, Josh Clifton. Keep an eye out for those. He's going to be cranking those out and interviewing a lot of cool people. I actually should have an episode coming out at some point with it. Probably similar, probably a little bit after I release this one or around the same time. But that'll be fun. It was kind of weird. I did his podcast years and years ago, 2013 or something we discussed on there. And it was with least of these in Nashville when we were on tour. And then this was just him and I doing one. And that was a lot of fun. I remembered Kid Video. If any of you guys remember Kid Video, those KIDD. It's like a cartoon from back in the day. I loved those. I had them on VHS and I'd watch them. It'd make me want to be in a band. Yeah, check those out. What else is going on? Producer dudes, Eric Jones, Kaylin Orr. I think they're still working on some stuff. Gonna start pushing that again. Probably the most interesting thing that Honey Gold puts out is the producer dude stuff, in my opinion. They're so good at it, but they both had a kid, kind of not back to back, but fairly close, and, adapt and react. Well, they're getting back to it, and I'm excited to see what they put up. I mean, those two guys are who I call to learn about music-related things, so If you ever have questions on how to record, what mics, pedals, guitars, all that stuff, then just subscribe to Producer Dudes on YouTube because they talk through it all, and they literally own all of it. Not necessarily at the same time, but they have an ability to just kind of obtain the gear, then maybe offload some and get new stuff. But great resources. Also, if you ever want to, if you're like me and you just want to buy stuff used, just wait for them to get it, and then wait about a month, maybe 2. And then you'll see it online, and then you can get it cheaper from them. Yeah, what else? What else do we got? What else do we got? Audio feed this summer is going to be a blast. I don't know if I'm going to make it there, but I'm going to try. But a lot of the Honey Gold artists will be on it. I think there's a whole Honey Gold stage. I want to be able to go help. But I have 2 trips already in the summer, then one in the, I guess 3 weeks I'm going to be out this summer already. And so to add a 4th one with audio feed, I've got to just make sure I can make it all work schedule wise. And then I also personally want to have at least 2 weeks where it feels like it's just resting with my family. Big rester over here. I really enjoy resting. All right. Well, if I seem anxious, it's because I got to go pick up my son from his therapy. And so I should probably wrap this up. Well, thanks for having me back. I hope that if you're ever bored and you just want to hear me talk, I'll be here. Hopefully, I need to be consistently making stuff, and yeah, this is one that's, for some reason, I enjoy it. I think I just like talking and thinking through my thoughts. When you're thinking in your head, they go so fast, or at least for me, they go so fast. It's hard to really flesh them out. But when you have to slow down and go through them out loud, you can kind of dial it in a little bit better. All right. Well, love you all. To those of you who've contributed to the GoFundMe, you've changed my son's life, and I will run into the fire for you. Thank you so much. All right, many blessings. All right, see ya. We're gonna learn something. All right, hey. We're gonna learn something. It's good to see ya. We're gonna learn something. Just messing around, hanging out. We don't know yet. So I'm curious, what's new with CRISPR? Clustered, regularly interspaced, short, palindromic repeats. Duh. CRISPR is a family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of let's see, can your computer say this for you?
Prokaryotic.
Nice. So CRISPR is a family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of prokaryotic organisms, such as bacteria and gosh darn it. Start speaking.
Archaea.
All right. Prokaryotic. So CRISPR is a family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of prokaryotic organisms such as bacteria and archaea. Archaea, yeah, I'm saying it right. These sequences are derived from DNA fragments of bacterio. Dude, this is ridiculous, man. Gosh, it's always first. I always want to learn about something, but I have to learn like 10 more things to be able to even learn the thing that I'm trying to learn.
Bacteriophages.
All right. Dude, we learned 3 new words so far. Fragments of bacteriophages that had previously infected the prokaryote. Dude, this is impossible. I'm so sorry. All right. Whoa. Prokaryote. Okay. They are used to detect and destroy DNA from similar bacteriophages during subsequent infection. So, I like the Learn Something segment. I feel like we learned some words and how to enunciate them. See, this is how far back I have to go. What is the difference between enunciate? I don't even know how to spell this. Enunciate. Let me try this. Pronunciation and enunciation. There we go. What is the difference? Pronunciation is related to the word itself, focusing on which syllables should be emphasized. I was not even listening to myself. Okay. So we're going to learn something. We're going to learn what is the difference between pronunciation and enunciation. Pronunciation is related to the word itself, focusing on which syllables should be emphasized and how certain letters or combinations of letters should sound when spoken. Enunciation refers to how clearly and distinctly a particular individual forms the sounds that make up a word. Pronunciation is related to the word itself, focusing on which syllables should be emphasized and how certain letters or combinations of letters should sound when spoken. So pronunciation is like the actual way you're supposed to say it, and then enunciation is how clearly and distinctly a particular individual forms the sounds that make up the word. Okay. That's interesting. I think I got it. Do you guys get that? I'm going to try to give an example. Let's use a super simple word. Difference. I think that's the pronunciation of difference. Enunciation would be difference. Lots of enunciation on individual forms. I'm the individual and I'm forming the sounds that make up a word. And difference. Enunciation. Difference is the pronunciation. I think I got it. That's more our speed. Let's stay in our lane. Let's know our let's leave CRISPR for them scientist dudes. Well, that was fun. Oh, that felt good. I learned something. Let's see. Okay. I got an interview I want to do. I'm going to be interviewing Joshua Clifton from the band Ravenhill, also fellow Honeygold Records family member. I've known Josh since like 2013. And I did an interview on his podcast where we talked about a little bit about our meeting. And I did his podcast back in like 2013 in Nashville with Least of These. So I'll put the episode number and the link to that in the liner notes. And let me write that down. Let me see. Episode references in liner notes. Well, I'll remember that. Okay. So yeah, I was on the YOUNGBLOOD podcast, Josh Clifton's podcast, back in like 2013, and you can hear a whole little story arc there. And then we did a recap, like an individual one, just me and him the other day, and I'm going to interview him for this podcast, and then we'll release them all about the same time. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, love you.
This song has had a resurgence lately.
When was the last time you listened to this song with headphones on?
I've never listened to this song with headphones on. This is the first time. Wrapped in plastic. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, that is your creation.
This reminds me of Napster. I think that's how I had it.
Oh, you had it.
I think I only ever owned it on my sister's computer with Napster. That was a fun little time, huh? Napster?
I didn't know I was doing something wrong then.
Oh, I had no idea. I thought I was just doing something.
Yeah. Man, I probably got a lot of Wu-Tang on that. On LimeWire and Napster or whatever illegal downloading thing.
I had better luck with Napster. Then when it went away and LimeWire came around, that's when I feel like the viruses got worse.
Oh, yeah, we got all the viruses.
LimeWire really ruined the computer.
Yeah. You always attack your kernel. Did you ever mess up that? It felt like it took down a couple of my computers. Like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it ruined every computer it was ever on that I was around, friends or our own. I think it messed up my sister's and my dad's.
When did we learn to kind of not trust the internet? Because at first it was all hopeful.
Dude, do you remember stupidvideos.com?
Yes.
And it was just like you'd watch a video and then you just keep going.
It was YouTube before YouTube.
Yeah, and I think there was options for different categories, but I feel like it was always just kind of cruising through it with a buddy of mine. The first time I ever saw someone die was on there. That's when I stopped trusting the internet. Because I was like...
Yeah, I think you're right. Because the internet... I remember during the LimeWire times... Maybe I mentioned this on the Hive podcast one time. But I remember going through... And even finding movies, like pirated movies and stuff. I just didn't know any better. I was just
that took me forever. I didn't learn about the Pirate Bay website or whatever.
No, I never did that. I never did. Like, I would get them from LimeWire.
I just downloaded the songs.
Yeah, and I do. Some music, I would do that too.
You could watch bands live, like all the YouTube videos of them back then or whatever.
But I remember one movie I downloaded. It wasn't anything. It wasn't supposed to be anything nefarious or anything. It was just supposed to be like some probably band music video or episode of The Simpsons or something like that. You know, I used to do that too. Get like episodes of The Simpsons and watch all of them.
Yeah, my sister downloaded a Boy Meets World episode.
Yeah,
and it was porn.
Well, that's kind of where this was going. Like it was supposed to be something else, like a Simpsons episode. It ended up being like this video, and right away it was like very disturbing. I knew like something was wrong, and then this girl was screaming. I remember turning it off. Like I knew that it felt like too real, and that's when I go, oh, I don't need to trust the internet. Yeah. The internet is like, I don't know. The internet has no. That's when I learned that it didn't respect anything.
Dude, I view it now as just this web in the sky. You can open up a door, a portal to pretty much whatever you want.
You're looking for, and sometimes things you're not looking for.
That's why you got to be careful with what doors you're opening. I guess.
That's interesting.
But yeah, it feels
algorithms
like kind of
feed the worst sides of you.
Yeah.
And I noticed that. And I noticed that those algorithms sometimes will make me, they get me.
Yeah.
And I had to steer it back.
Mm-hmm.
I had to actively steer it back.
I watched Cops for like an hour and a half the other night.
Yeah.
And it's way more violent, everything I'm seeing now. And it's like,
Yeah.
dang it. I had it so good to just stand up clips and guitars.
Yeah, I like it when it's music stuff, music history, music news. I like a little bit of political stuff, not too much, but enough. I like different podcasts and comedians, and that's usually it. I like cool art.
Yeah, I have a lot of that. This is at John Speaker, by the way.
Mhm.
At John Speaker on Instagram. He's one of my favorite artists. Yeah, these two tapestries.
These are great. Which you saw on this kind of stuff. I like seeing beautiful art. But
Yeah,
sometimes
makes you feel good.
Sometimes I watch too much macabre stuff or this and that.
You're gonna have to tell me what macabre is. That a person or a
I mean like darker things. Death.
Nefarious macabre. Who are you right now?
I'm very intellectual. I'm not. Whoa! I just got some life in my left ear I didn't have.
Was that allergy related, or do you think audio in your headphone related?
Audio in my headphone related,
Okay.
very much so.
You know that feeling when all of a sudden you're
totally. You pop your ears pop and you go, oh, that's what hearing feels like.
Dude, I remember falling asleep on the way to the Grand Canyon, and we got there when or maybe it wasn't the Grand Canyon. It was somewhere where the elevation was going up for hours, and I'm just asleep. And we get there, and I get out. I remember the whole time trying to look at all this pretty stuff. It just felt like I was underwater.
Oh yeah,
because I wasn't popping it with the
exactly. You got to be popping it.
Yeah.
If you want to be, I wish I had a cool line after that.
Have you ever heard of snuba diving?
Shut up.
It's not scuba diving and it's not snorkeling. It's called snuba diving.
Snoov with a V.
No, snoob. I think I was just smiling and I couldn't get my lips to touch. Snooba. Snooba. Anyways, it's a way to basically scuba dive down like 20 feet without getting your license because the tank floats on a raft at the top and you have like a 20-foot long hose.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. Me and my dad did it, and the training's like they just tell you, then you jump in the water and do it.
They should probably change that name.
Maybe they have. You hadn't heard of it. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something else. Snooba.
Snooba.
Yeah.
Snooba.
I don't know if it's two O's or a U, but it's Snooba.
I'm just hung up on this name, man.
So anyways, like the only thing they told us was like as you go deeper and your ears start to get pressure, pitch your mask and blow.
Yeah.
Worked like a charm. I feel like in an airplane going up, it's harder. It's not as easy. The battle to get your ears feeling normal.
I feel like it's always been pretty easy for me to get my ears.
You strike me as someone that it was always pretty easy.
Yeah.
This feels like something you wouldn't have as an issue.
Yeah, I can't relate to you on the struggles of getting my ears to pop when I need them to.
My ears give me some trouble on an airplane.
Yeah, I feel like right now, if anybody is listening to this, they're very divided between our two camps right now.
I imagine they turned it off already. I stopped caring about like 3 minutes ago on this. But we're in it, and I'm down to talk about it. But I was like, this is not this is not
good. I thought it was good.
Well, for us, yeah. But as a listener, I wouldn't be interested.
But sometimes
isn't that interesting? That sometimes having the conversation is more interesting than listening to someone. have the conversation?
But I think you're wrong because sometimes you have a hard time at seeing the value in something until you're the other person looking in.
Maybe.
No,
what if I always feel like there's a me that's watching the thing going like, wrap this up?
Yeah, because you're your own worst critic. You are.
Do you think that for everyone, or are you saying that for me specifically?
I'm saying that for you specifically. I think
I'm a motivator.
Yeah, I think that sometimes
I motivate myself with negative.
Yeah, maybe not always do that way though. Shake it up a little bit. Try some positive.
It's in there when I know.
Yeah, and I get it. And I'm saying if you get results, then keep doing that. Whatever, do you? But I am saying sometimes you question the validity of something, but after you see it in its process, you go, "No, that was good. That's a lot better than I thought it was." I guarantee you'll go watch this and you'll go, "That was better than I thought it was." Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be great, right?
Wouldn't that be neat?
You know, when everything becomes VR and we just are always up in that version of everything. You know how you can save your clips on like Halo or something?
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that all the time with our days, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll just spend the whole day in VR world, and all our highlights will be. And then I guess when we're going to bed, we'll just be like, "That was awesome earlier," and I want to watch that again.
You think that'll be it? When everything's being recorded, we'll just save it. We'll say highlight.
Yeah, why not?
reels.
We already capture it and put it on Instagram or
I
press
guess
the little middle Xbox
let's
controller button.
brainstorm this a little bit because
That's what we were doing.
No one.
We were brainstorming.
Yeah, that's true. But I love what. Sorry, you're right. I just stopped brainstorming
messing with
so
you, dude.
we could talk about brainstorming, so we could continue brainstorming. I get it.
You know what we should do? Let's talk about that.
All right,
I'm just playing with you. Okay, go ahead.
that's a good song. No,
Yeah, this was the right call, right?
yeah.
Hey, Eric, remember the name of this playlist so we can put it as
In the show notes.
liner notes. They could know what to listen to. I'm imagining someone who's at their computer watching a podcast and then listening to that. No one does that.
I do that.
Oh, well, people like you, if they find this, can do that.
Yeah, if there is like some like chill music behind while listening to a podcast while I'm playing a video game, that's perfect.
Nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
But it has to be, the music can't take all the attention.
I was listening to Your Mom's House mixed into my headphones while playing Halo around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have learned how to get music in there as well. That'd have been cool.
Well, the PS5 does that pretty seamlessly. And so what I would do is I'd play something on my Alexa in the house
Got it.
and then play the game and then play the podcast on that.
How does your government intercom work? Do you like it? Do you enjoy having it?
I know they are listening to everything, and I care
Well, you're
and
a
I don't.
performer, dude. It's probably fun for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just start exaggerating what you're talking about.
Maybe. No, I
Aiming
don't
it
do
at
that.
Alexa. Well, I remember when
Perform.
I had the Xbox Connect in college, I tried to leave it on, and I just noticed like I'd be looking at it, and I'd like think about how I was
You'd
sitting
be
there.
like, if anybody's watching, I want to look cool, I guess.
Something like that. It made me be.
Yeah.
I had to be on. I felt like I was on, so I got rid of it.
Look, I can understand why someone would. I clearly don't want anybody watching or listening to my house. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't think we're that interesting.
Dude,
I
but
don't- and
sometimes,
I don't think
sometimes you don't know how interesting you are until you're the third person on the outside.
Yes, that's great. That's so good.
But I hear you. I used to care more about that stuff, but like, I care about other things now. I don't really care. anymore.
I think no matter how hard I'll fight against it, what in the next 10 years will anything be private?
Exactly. So
What can I do to stop that? Tell me what I could do to stop it, like feasibly, without uprooting my family out of civilization.
Well, that's what's interesting is how much are you going to want to participate with society moving forward, depending on the direction it goes.
Have you thought about drawing a line in the sand, like?
No, I don't know where I'll draw a line in the sand, but I love the idea of at least having being able to have my land and take care of myself, so then I get to choose how much.
We talk
I
about
wanna
this a
be-
lot, and it's easier when we think about it as a group doing something like that, living in a community together, kind
Yeah.
of thing. That makes it easier because then we can all have
10
our own,
acres and then make our own
Yeah,
neighborhood,
That'd be great. Join us.
have music festivals on it, build a skate park.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. Yes.
Why not?
Yes. Why not?
It just takes time.
We need money. Maybe
Just play it the long term.
we're planning.
I dated Haley for 6 years. I have patience.
I do like the idea though that we were talking about earlier.
It sounds like I was waiting for her to turn 18 in the way I say that. I just want to clarify. I was waiting for us to finish college. She's actually older than me
That's great.
by 2 months. This is where on my old podcast I would just turn the music up and let everyone listen with me. I don't know how those are still up there and not in.
Do you ever get notifications?
None.
That's great.
The
because
last
you
like
talk
10
about
podcasts
over them a lot
the whole
That's why.
time.
Yeah, that's why.
The last like 10 podcasts, I would just leave the album playing the whole time under it.
Yeah, because you're talking over it, so it's commentary.
Yeah.
I have to remind them that I do talk over them, but most of the song is not I'm talking over them, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
On the Youngblood podcast.
I thought about just going for it and doing it again on this revamped version.
Yeah.
But since I did it before, I feel a little guilty talking over someone's art. Not when we're doing it, but like to then post my thing online.
Yeah.
It's how I feel about
I get what you're
sitting in front of these tapestries in a way, which is why I want to make sure everyone at least knows
where they came from,
it
who
is.
did them, and all that stuff.
It's weird to take something someone amazing. It's like the stitching on the reels and stuff. It's something popular, and then add me into it, and then just more of that. I don't like that.
I get your concern about that.
We should stitch that moment from this into something else.
Yeah, totally.
Is that irony?
Right in the middle. It's genius, is what it is. No.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll never do it. You'll have to do it, and we'll find out.
We'll see. Hey, whenever do you have this thing? I don't know what this is left over from childhood is, but whenever there's like a head or a doll face or whatever, that's
Why'd you point over there when you said head?
I don't know. When there is, why, or even that tapestry, the moon right there. Do you ever have that feeling that it's gonna turn and look at you? Is that just me? Is that everybody else dealing with that?
Do I ever feel like eventually it'll turn and look at me?
Do you mess with yourself and go like that? Like right now, I'm looking at that moon. I expect that moon to turn around and wink at me or say something to me. I think when I see pictures and stuff like that in real life, that's the first thing I think about when I see a painting or doll. A doll. If a kid has a doll, I think that doll is going to.
No, I don't have that.
I have that.
When it's made to look like it's always looking at you in the eyes, I obsessed with that a little bit when I was younger. And then I used to see faces just in things.
So that's just me. That's just my own personal thing.
Yeah, that's your thing.
Awesome. Cool.
I'm sure you're not alone.
Yeah, there's probably plenty of us.
There was a time when somebody thought they were the only one who was afraid of clowns.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I'm scared of scary clowns.
Yeah.
Obvious clowns that I should be scared of.
Clowns that
I'm nervous about those clowns.
When they're not in places they should be.
Yeah. Hey, quit being a clown in places you're not supposed to be a clown. Like mostly outside of circuses.
Have you seen those videos online of people doing that as like a prank and going into a parking garage and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do any of that anymore.
No, you can't do that in Texas. I'll tell you that. That was not filmed in Texas.
No.
And there'd be one dead
Isn't that
clown.
something? When we staged our kidnapping in high school.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
No.
Someone could have tried to intervene.
I'm going to tell you, there has been a news story somewhere, probably Texas or Florida, where they said kids stage kidnapping and get shot.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't us.
Yeah, I'm sure that's been a headline now.
Ours was kids stage kidnapping and get caught.
Yeah.
that was ours. Oh, man.
Brad Pitt and Jackass did it. Why can't we?
I got the idea probably from the Sum 41 DVD where they robbed the pizza store with water guns.
Yes.
It was
90s
so fun.
when you could do stuff like that and not get in trouble, really.
Well, I was going to, on your conversation earlier, reminded me that same scavenger hunt we would do every year with all the crazy things on it. It was just a list of crazy things to do, basically, and whoever did the most got the most points. But one of them was to go to Blockbuster and ask them where the snuff film section was.
Oh, interesting.
And just capture that on video.
That was a weird section of the video room.
I don't think Blockbuster ever had it. The guy got real mad.
Family Video didn't either. Or did they?
I don't know. We got a family
I've
video
never
after
been
Blockbuster.
inside one of those rooms.
Oh, me neither.
That's interesting. I should go to one of those, right? My entire, like, whenever you're young, you didn't kind of wonder what that was like in there? Did you not wonder?
Well, I feel
I'm
like
not saying I want to go hang out. I just want to go and be like, oh, this is what it looks like. And just go out.
we'll have to double check, but I feel like the snuff films are when they would like murder them at the
Oh,
end.
hey, not snuff sections of these. I don't know if those exist. And I'm not trying to awaken any
I would imagine they never.
underground, maybe very vengeful corner of the population of the world. Don't come after me.
I could be wrong. I just feel like it was in a CSI episode or something. That's how I heard.
Sorry.
That's how I knew.
Not snuff. Not that. I was not talking about that. I was talking about when I was a kid and they would have the 18 or older room.
Yeah, none of our movie theaters had those.
None of your-
or rentals. movie
No
rentals.
way.
Yeah,
You guys know, so that was a Midwest heathen thing.
maybe so.
Wow.
Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and Family Video. None of those. Three.
Never had an adult section.
But we have enough, Texas. As soon as you get into that weird, like 20 miles between any town, there's
That's
always
right.
that one.
There was a lot of that. See, in Southern Illinois, where I grew up, where I spent most of my adolescence, they would have an adult section. That's interesting. Huh. I didn't know we were special.
Yeah,
I always wanted to go in there.
I'm
Never
sure there was
did.
areas where they were at. I just didn't see it. Now, if you go to like Padre Island, there was those shops that would have.
Padre
have everything.
Island.
They'd have,
If
like,
you've
salvia.
ever meandered through Padre Island.
Well, those like they all kind of sell the same stuff, and they have that like '90s disco playing for some reason.
Wait,
even though
where's
you're at the
Padre
beach.
Island?
At the bottom of Texas.
I've never been there.
It's like a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, down like the whole strip there. There's a bunch of different shopping touristy things, but it's like those shirts that are just like a old t-shirt.
Is
but,
this like near Galveston, stuff like that?
No, but
like-
it's the same thing just down
Yeah.
there. A lot of the like tourist attraction stuff all looks the same. Like the whole, it's kind of sad. The whole strip,
Yeah.
it's like the same store all the way down with different stuff, the same music, and
They're playing like Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" over and over.
no, it's cooler than that, but it's
Oh.
still not my favorite.
Cooler than Montel Jordan. This is how
No,
we do
it's
it.
like that dub. It's like that reggae dub kind of
Yeah, I got you.
EDM stuff, but it's not always as reggae as you'd like, being right there by the
It's like that UB40 band.
maybe.
Red wine.
No, not at all.
Stay close to me.
I don't know how to describe it. Do you remember Need for Speed?
I remember the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The music, like in that or something,
Oh, vaguely. Okay.
like a nighttime level. I don't know. James Motter would know the exact words.
Nighttime level. You know the video game? If you were driving in the nighttime, they play a lot of that.
I don't know EDM genres, and there's like a million. So
That's such a good way to describe it. You know, whenever you go down the pipe at in Super Mario Brothers, it sounds kind of like that music.
I know what sound you're talking about. though.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I know what you're talking about. Like a blue tint,
Yeah, yeah.
grayish blue tint.
You know, the kind of music you want to listen to whenever you hit your head against a brick.
Or drop down a little.
Yeah.
Haley had that shirt for Maddie's birthday party. It was Mario themed, and that was me trying to look at the camera for the first time. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh
But,
man. Did you see their souls?
I didn't even.
Look,
I didn't even make
look.
it all the way.
Look at their souls.
I
Take
can't.
Take it.
What is it? It's called a Palantir or whatever. That Gandalf. He's like a Palantir. Yeah, that's what I feel like looking into that. He's like, we don't know who's watching on the other side. You know what I'm talking about? He covers the little ball.
Oh, I know exactly. The crystal ball.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know it was. I wasn't cool enough to know it was called a Palantir.
I named my Xbox that. You know, you can name your Xbox because I felt the
Perfect.
same way connecting to the web. Okay, I'm getting Logan as I stare at it. Can you tell I'm getting more comfortable with it?
Logan, am I?
Dude, when we would do least of these,
So funny though. You're saying like, can you tell I'm warming up to it?
when we would do least of these GoFundMe's, the worst part, I hated talking to cameras. But I'm getting better at it right now. I think it's the vibe. And I'm not asking for money.
Yeah, it does help. It does help when you. No, yeah. What'd you say to it?
Speaking of, if you watch the GoFundMe video that Haley and I made for Madison, as soon as she brings up like you don't have to donate, but if you watch, immediately I'm like, and I don't remember doing that, but when I watched it back, I was like,
you're like, this moment could not get over.
No. Yeah, that was pretty awkward.
Oh, you guys did it well.
I just had to try my hardest to get my son the therapy he needs.
Yeah,
So
and you did great.
It is what it is. So what you thinking about? What's when you have your alone time, the thoughts in between the main thoughts, where's your head going to lately?
How much time we have left?
You can use all of it, whatever it is.
No. I'm saying that's what I think about. How much time?
I thought you were talking about how much time do we have left right now.
How much time we have left?
All versions of that.
Yeah, I'm like. So sometimes I think about 20 years ago when I was dreaming about what I wanted to accomplish and what I would dream about, the things I really cared about. Like I wanted to have a good wife. I wanted to have kids. I want to have a good relationship with those kids. And I realized that like, I accomplished that. I feel like I have a great wife, great relationship with her. I think I have great kids. I love them, connect with them. And I never really thought much more. I never had any finite goals after that. I said, I want to do something I love. I wanted to be the next Nirvana, the next Beatles, whatever, you know. But I didn't know why I wanted that. I didn't know if I really, never asked if I really needed it. I always kind of left that up to God. Said, I want to be however big you want me to be. And I'll be happy with that. Because I thought that if I tried to get more, if I felt like I was trying to get more popular, I was doing it for the wrong reason. So I just do it the best I could and let him kind of dictate the audience that comes. I'll do my best with that, but I try not to make it the focus. Yeah. I think I've stayed pretty consistent with that. Maybe to a fault. Maybe I should have been better at that. So when I think about all that, I say all that to say, I've already accomplished everything I want as far as like finite goals. The only thing I want more is building better, long-lasting relationships and making the ones I have stronger. So whenever I think about time, I think about how much I spend driving around and working for a thing that I wish would just disappear, whether that's debt or these physical things that we sometimes tell ourselves I think we need. I'm not sure. I know we want some things. I know we want things I think that we're supposed to want. But I still always ask, is it worth it? Because I kind of would rather be at home with those people or just sitting on a back porch hanging out with them. And I know that's selfish to say, well, you don't want to work. I don't mind working. I don't like working so much for so little time with the things I want to be with. The beings I want to be with. The people I want to be with. Because I look at London and I can't believe he's 14 freaking years old. And it just seems like just yesterday he was like 5 or 6. And I know a lot of that time I was on the road, or a lot of that time I was working towards thinking we'll get to this point where I can take it easy. And I'm just excited for when that time it comes where I can take it easy. But I get heartbroken a little bit more. Not to be glim, but I get a little bit more heartbroken every day that goes. I don't get to spend what I think is an adequate amount of time with each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And on most days I don't. That is where my brain goes whenever I'm not worried about any job I'm doing. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, it was well said though. I don't think you're alone in that at all.
No, I think most if you're a part of the breadwinning side of your family, that is you have that a version of that. And that could be both. That you could be a single parent doing that. You could be a part of like one stays home with the kids, one does most of the breadwinning.
Even the one staying home isn't getting to spend.
Well,
the time
I was going to say they have another battle, because I've been on that side of it too, where you feel all you're doing is talking to kids maybe, or you're not having the kind of relationship with your kids that you would like to have. You feel like their maid or their parent and not ever their friend.
Well, and even still, it's the experience itself, because the experience you're describing is the family together having a wonderful time. And when it's just like trying to shuffle the house duties and the kids running around and then the other person being gone, that's not it's part of the ride. Yeah. But it's the back porch with the grill going and music playing or not.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they even have that. They have that. I wish I could go out and do the thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They have the other side of it. I'm always stuck at home. Where's the spark in my day? So it's always a cycle, and both those things are equally hard, I think. Like. And how do you do that? It's about balance, right? You got to figure out. Lately, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the solution. I don't want to end on such a weighty thing. I'll tell you that I do have hope, even though that seemed very, because I'm tweaking it. I actually feel good about the future. Like, I think it's great that my wife and I work well as a team. Things don't work as they don't always go the way they should go, even though, and you know more about that, and that would bore your audience. But sometimes things are supposed to go a certain way, and people just kind of get in the way, or something, or miscommunication, or something. Some outside factor, and you have to. It gets a little bit more difficult for you, but you figure it out. And honestly, I think there is a way out. We're so fortunate. If you're living in America and you're able to, I know there are plenty of people hurting in America. I'm not saying that, but like compared to the world,
it's the cobalt mines for me.
Most people, What
I think about is like, I could be in a cobalt mine.
I could be in a cobalt mine, but it lets me know my situation is one that I should be very like grateful. And shouldn't probably complain as much. That's my viewpoint.
I don't think you can complain, and I think it's okay to know that. I think part of what your brain's doing in that time, because I feel like all of ours do a version of that, is what are the experiences while I'm here that I want to be having?
Yeah.
You know, the ones that feel like the end result of maybe just a shitty situation aren't always the ones you want to be experiencing, you know? Like, there's a difference between like something sucking really bad, but knowing it's going to be better on the other side, and then the machine, not your situation, but even deeper in like, man, the human experience should get to be filled with joy.
Yeah, I mean, you have to fight for it. I do. Like some people,
you do very well.
some people would say that I'm pretty good at that, and
You-
I do
you-
think I am good at that.
You've inspired me to try harder to have a good time.
I feel bad whenever I do that. To be honest, you know that
What?
because because sometimes I think I paint a picture that we don't struggle to try to have a good time, because it is a fight.
You didn't do that for me. You just made me
Okay.
realize you have to try.
Okay, cool. I get worried that sometimes I'm like, hey guys, let's go celebrate this other thing. And you're like, dear God, Josh, we can't afford to go out every month. And
But
this
it's
makes
worth trying, and it's been
it
a
is worth
blast.
it. Yeah, you're right.
Some of my favorite experiences have been since we started going and doing something.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
But my personality in general, when someone's like, hey, we should all, it's usually like, what? First.
oh,
First.
God.
You
Yeah.
can totally catch me, but I don't know why. I didn't want to be this way.
No, but I will say, like, the hopeful thought I would like to end on, or at least this part on, is the fact that I found myself realizing, number one, it could be much worse. It could be so much worse, obviously. And I've got so much potential in the relationships I have, and the ability of God blessing me to be able to, I don't know, be able to provide. And I should just I have good moments in my life. I have good people in my life. I have all the stuff that I have to rejoice over. I'm going to quit staring at the negative. So I just stay on the path, and I just go, today I didn't get to do as much of X, Y, and Z as I wanted to. And usually I'd spend time with my kids, my wife. All right, tomorrow I'll make a little bit more effort to do that. Because you failed a little bit in that side of it. They know you're out working hard. They know you're out doing this. They have grace for you. Because why? Because they love you, and they know that we're succeeding together. I'm not out there doing this by myself, doing this for myself, doing it for us. And it makes us feel bigger and better about the whole.
It's like in The Hobbit when Gandalf has to keep leaving the group.
Yes.
That's my second Lord of the Rings reference.
I know, man. I love it. I love it.
I've been reading them again, so that's why.
That's great. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Two Blue Coats Beanies podcast. I just realized that we both have beanies and blue coats on.
I would have never known yours was blue until you pointed it out. Like in Father of the Bride when he gets his suit made,
Yeah.
and he's like you in the navy tuxedo, and he's like, this is black. Yeah. Haley tells me, I think that's why I like art like this, because I don't have the best. I don't think I see all the colors the right way.
Huh.
I think I'm close for the most part, but she makes me feel like I call stuff.
You think
black.
you might see like like darker shades seem closer together?
I think so.
Yeah.
My color wheel
surprised
has
I haven't
less.
gotten that.
It's
Yeah.
it's a lot more like a pie chart than like that smooth
Yeah.
thing.
Someone might have 35 sections. You have probably 20.
Yeah, I have like when you used to have like 75 channels, and then some of them were fuzzy.
Yeah. Let's do
That's
like
the version.
8 more analogies of this. Okay.
This is what I do in my head
this is
all
great.
day. It's like in order for me to feel like something makes sense, I have to like really paint it.
Yeah, really, really paint it with just the 12 colors you can see.
Eric's one of the best at knowing that too, and like he'll explain something to me and then like give me like 4 more examples.
Eric's great at that, yeah.
Then I feel like I got a full.
What are we listening to right now?
Probably just a
Oh,
skit.
it's that skit. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's welcome to Two Blue Coats and the Beanies drinking the same soda podcast.
Yeah. What kind of pants you got on?
We're close. 2 Hispanic guys.
That's true. That's true.
Two half
halvesies.
2 half Hispanic, mother being the Hispanic one in the relationship.
Yeah, we both have Hispanic mothers.
Blue coat wearing beanie.
We both have Hispanic mothers, and our dads were pastors for a time in our life.
Holy crap.
And we grew up listening to punk and hardcore music.
And we got into the music scene and got on in the Christian based scene, but we both weren't necessarily trying to be in the Christian scene.
It's interesting how it all pans out, huh?
How like. But you and I are very different though. Still, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's the color wheel, dude.
Huh.
The human experience is a much finer color wheel.
You could describe all the things that we have alike. These are the two most alike people that are going to be in this room, and they put us in a room with 100 people, and you and I would be very different in that room.
I got lost.
They would take on paper, they would take all our likenesses and they'd say they are probably going to be the most alike in that room. But you'd put the two of us in one room with 100 people and we'd have very different experiences in that room.
That's where I lose you. Is there 102 people in this room?
I knew it was something not about the question, not about the point we're trying to make.
I don't know what I'm trying to figure out at the end.
Okay.
Are you telling me something or am I answering a question? Damn it. I almost had you the second time.
It's great. I'm saying in a room with us and 100 other people.
Okay.
So 102 people.
Yeah.
We split up.
You and I are not hanging out.
Are not hanging out.
Okay.
And we're talking with the other 100 people.
Okay.
You and I would have very different experiences, I think, in the kind
as we chatted it up walking around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be two very different experiences.
Yeah, yours would become a big circle with a bunch of people all laughing and as y'all shared stories.
I don't know.
I feel like I would end up with just a dude that I bonded with.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's true.
Your number count of people you bonded with would be higher?
That's what I thought would be. Like, I would probably go deeper quickly because somehow think with more people.
Yes.
And you would probably go deeper than anything with anyone.
It's hit or miss.
Okay, maybe.
I'd still have a good time.
Yeah, I would still have a good time.
You would, though, the person with the most clout in the room, you would be the one you'd find them first for sure.
How though? I don't try.
I know you don't try. You just have
like that always seems to happen.
You go to a restaurant with this guy, and then he comes back from the bathroom. He's like, "Hey, I met the owner, and we were talking about it." It's like, how do you always run into?
I don't know.
The guy of every place we go. It's great to have.
I don't know.
In my life,
I honestly don't know. I find myself in the weirdest situations.
I always find the dude who we bond really great. And then when I tell other people I met, they're like, hey, you be careful with that guy. I'm like, dang it. That's the guy I always find. It's like I pulled aside later and I'm cautioned with my new friend.
That's so funny. He's like, hey, just so you know, we're letting him
Brick
go
killed
next
the guy.
week. I stabbed the guy with a trident.
All right, let's wrap this up. This has been fun. Thanks, dude.
That was good. Yeah, thanks for having me on it.
Anything you want to promote for
the YOUNGBLOOD podcast with Joshua Clifton?
First podcast I was ever on, 2014. I'm on there. That's what we were gonna do. We're gonna release these about the same time.
Yeah.
He interviewed me for his podcast. We go down a whole different rabbit hole than this one.
We didn't talk about any of this stuff.
Yeah, and we're gonna post them fairly close together or whatnot.
Yes. Yeah, go listen to that. Listen to this. They don't really coincide with each other, but you'll see more of our dynamic, I think. And we'll do a lot of these.
Less Wu-Tang and more Kid Radio.
I don't know.
Or Kid Video, right?
Kid Video. Yeah, I can't believe I let you do Wu-Tang on your podcast.
That's true. Maybe you inspired it and you brought it into my...
Yeah.
By the way, when you were
brought the Wu with me.
Nah, never mind. I will talk about this another time. You had me thinking Donnie Darko when you were talking about you just look at the path and you're just shooting the little thing out.
There were a couple rabbit trails I was going to go on. You said some good stuff, but I totally lost it.
How long have we been going?
I think he's landing a plane.
85? 44 minutes? 45.
49.
49. Well, I mean, you got an early morning tomorrow. It's about to be midnight. We're kind of wrapped up.
We're good.
Eric told me to say something, though. Let me read this real quick. On my kind of smartwatch. Hey, check the show notes to... Dang it, it went away. Listen through...
check the show notes to listen through with the podcast
Hold on. I got it. Let's look at this one. Check the show notes. No, I want to do this one. Check the show. Just get you out of the shot.
Yeah, because while you were doing it, the other one, I was going.
But yeah, check the show notes because we're going to put things that might be interesting to you on there. You can listen to the music we've been listening to. I'm going to put the links to John Speaker's social media, and then maybe link like the Dane Jones, the Futile.
Dane Johns.
Dane Johns, sorry.
No, it's all
Dane
right.
Johns.
Close enough.
I've met him like 3 times too. That's my bad.
No, you're all right. I mean, he called you Johnny Gorb.
Did he really? Or are you
No,
trying
I'm
to
just making you feel better. Johnny Gorb.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thanks for being interested in this.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Welcome to the... I don't know what I was about to say.